I'll share my username and password also to all the student members. You can download all the lecture related matters. Whatever we are discussing in the class is based on lectures may be lengthy. Some lectures may be of, say example, concept based, or some may be the derivation point of view. Okay, so based on that, we'll go ahead. I have planned for almost 35 to 38 lectures that anyway I'll circulate so whatever the communications I do, that everything is through that Dropbox. Okay, so lectures will be there, and before the class or before the start of the class, I'll also upload all the relevant lectures, text materials, everything. We'll also discuss one by one in the class. We'll also solve problems. I'll also try to solve by myself, and I'll also post it the solutions in the Dropbox as well. So it is systematic, but once it is posted by myself in the Dropbox, don't alter anything on. Okay, so I have a control of my Dropbox. I can able to find out who is doing these sort of activities. So thereby I can also note down who are all doing these activities as well. Okay, so only your rights is to download the document, or you can view through. That's a thing what you do. So all the lectures related to the concept and day-wise lectures also I'll record, and I will also post it in the Dropbox, or otherwise in the same team, MS team. It will be there for 20 days. So MS team, they have a policy, all the recorded materials will be there for 20 days. Either I'll request the CRs or myself download the documents and have it, because video lectures may be of very bigger in size. So mostly I'll do it, but uploading in the Dropbox is also a matter that sometimes will take a lot of time. So I request all of you to download after the class, immediately after 5 minutes of their class, and video will be posted by team itself. You can download the document and you can keep it. That is for your future reference or what. Okay, so this is the overall flow. So I may be sincere in the classes, like before 5 minutes I will create a link. You can join as it is, so that thereby classes will start the exact timings. Maybe 2-3 minutes later, but we'll start by if it is 10:30, 10:35 we'll start it. Okay, and as attendance is something is mandatory. That's what that is insisted by the institution as well. Okay, you can join, but I can download the attendance details in my either CRs or myself can able to download the Excel sheet from the team. Thereby, I could able to monitor how many times you have entered into a team and how many times you have left out of the team, and who are all remaining in the team at the end of the lectures also I can monitor. Okay, that is something is important. So before the 5 minutes or before the closure of the class, let me download the attendance sheet. Doesn't mean that you can join later also. So that you can able to, because it may be with timings, and the number of times is in and number of times is exit from a systems or left from the MS team as well. That also we can monitor. Okay, if it is somebody is having a network connectivity, you can inform me in the earlier. Thereby I can also have a look on the your status. Okay, so other than that, everything is systematic and there is no changes in the regulations. That's what the Dean Academic was saying. That is about 75% this is mandatory. Okay, you can take a break for your academic involvement. Say example, so if you are visiting somebody, or if you are say example, if you are attending for marriages, or if you have something on the health issues, you can take a break. But break can be taken as is absent. For the regular class, example, I plan for 40 classes. The attendance can be calculated as 40. How many classes you have attended out of 40? That is 75 you have to maintain. Say example, if you climb for 5 days as a break, say example, health issues or important family function or something. So for you, that total percentage can be calculated out of 35 instead of 40. So all others is 40, but those who have a problem with like health or something, and you can have some liberty to take it, but that also you should maintain as 78%. So that you just have a look. That also been mentioned in the say example course plan. Okay, that is something is important. So 75 is mandatory. That is number one. Number two is the passing minimum. Also, it has been given in the regulations. That I don't know whether you have experienced or not. That is I guess 35 marks or maximum by 2, which is greater. as that's what it is mentioned in the rules and regulations. That also just follow. And assessments also I'll plan accordingly. Let me plan based on your involvement. Let me either have it of either descriptive or MCQs. That we'll see later. Okay. And based on that, we'll go for I think based on the regulations, it is been given. You can go for maximum of 5 or 6 assessments. So let me go with assessment number 1, assessment number 2. That may be either descriptive or MCQs. Okay, with the 20 or 25% weightage. That let me fix. And during the core, during the entire duration of the course, you can have some activities. Okay, because people are connected individually, so you can do some sort of individual assignments that will be taken care with 10%. And to understand your better logical understanding the subjects, let me also post some problems on either time paper or a project that we'll have it up for 10%. Anyway, end assessment maybe only 30%, 30 marks. Okay, so before end assessment, we should complete 70%. So these are some of the course introductions is aligned with rules and regulations that we just follow. Okay, and this is a general introduction, and this is very easy. The subject is not too theory or not too problematic, but thing is it's about 50-50. I'll make it only on concept point of view, not like entire theory or say example numerical solutions or problems. Okay, yeah. So these are the general introductions about the classes. So let me share. I have also posted. I don't know how many of you seen academic calendar. Yeah, Rashwant, can you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So others, you can you just have a look. It is already there in the NIT site as well. Okay. Yes. Okay. So the assessment 1, Rashwant, can you able to view this?
Sir, only desktop we can use, not the PDF.
One second. Now it is, or it?
No, sir.
Okay, now?
Yes, sir, got
it. Yeah. So can you note down Rashwant and Divya? Okay, so Institute reopen already. It is on 18th. So we are now in the first week, and they have also suggested the assessments. Okay, you can also follow up a reassessment and also supplementary in the last 3rd semester also. And now the first assessment suggested, I think this is last week of February. Okay, so this time they have given a lengthy semester. Okay, I think 4 months. So you can note down now. First assessment falls in the last week of February, and the second assessment that is also being suggested by the academic office last week of March. Okay, and they've also given April, because it's the last closure of all classes. UG and PG, it is on only May 7th. But they've also marked like 3rd assessment in last week of April. Okay, so please remember February first week last week, and March last week, and April last week. So we have assessment schedule is already been given. Okay, so let me also follow up with the class committee chairpersons. We will also fix or the class, say example examination point of view assessments. Okay, so these are, so closure you just note down now that the 7th of May, and the end assessment or final assessment starts from 10th May. Okay, so these are the academic schedule. It is already been circulated. It is also there in the website. Okay, yes. So I'll request the CRs, whatever I have circulated in the group, you can also share it to the individual, your classmates group as well. Okay, that is number one. And number two is list of holidays is also already being given in the site. Okay, that also you can follow. Because anyway the faculty members, they'll follow while preparing the course plan. That also you can have a look. Okay, yes, yeah. Okay, these are the general introductions, general introduction about this thing, and introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Ramesh, and graduated from IIT Madras and joined in institutions like in 2006. I've completed almost 12 years service in NIT Tiruchirappalli, and I have taken up 2 times associate dean academic, so I'm well versed with the academic system, and even I was part of all the academic initiatives in NIT Tiruchirappalli as either a member or coordinator. Okay, yes, that is my background. My specialization includes water and wastewater treatment and waste management. So this I wanted to, those who are really interested in water and wastewater, let me. So all. And I'm right now the coordinating Tech Environmental Engineering program as coordinator. Okay, and I have taken up very challenging responsibilities by the Ministry of Education last year. So I'm happy to see you all because this last year NIT Trichy was the coordinating agency to conduct the JEE, not JEE, but JOSA as well as CSAP. National coordinator is NIT Tiruchirappalli. So all the allotments I have done it. Okay, so though all are sitting in my class, and probably I have allotted the branches in NIC along with IIT Roorkee. Okay, I'm happy to see you all. Okay, very challenging JOSA as well as CSAP last year with NIT Trichy. Director was a chairperson and myself was a coordinator, national coordinator, and we are coordinated with IIT Roorkee. And this time MNIT Allahabad and IIT Delhi they are coordinating. And that's one challenging job. We have completed successfully without any difficulty or court cases or something. And very recently, Ministry has appointed NIT Tiruchirappalli as its nodal center to create online courses. So because of COVID-19 situation and to spread over the technical knowledge all over India, to take up some inputs from higher learning institutions, and the Ministry has taken up issue. And now in India, I think they had 8 national level coordinators, including IIT Madras, NPTEL you would have come across, and SWAYAM you would have come across. So now one more center has been added, NIT Tiruchirappalli, based on Ministry's recommendation, and very recently. And that I'm taking care as a national coordinator to develop online courses. So we are now in the elementary stage. Probably maybe after a year or after 1.5 years, we are also in a position to float a lot of courses in either NPTEL or SWAYAM platform. So these are some of my background in NIT Trichy. So I am well versed with academic process, and if it is any difficulty, you can also talk to me other than the subjects. Okay, that is also one important point I wanted to inform. Okay, yes, yeah. So let me go a small introduction about the class today. Rashwant, can you able to view this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. The course title or course code is CEPC 17. CEPC 17 Environmental Engineering 1. So initially last semester, I think last year it was in 3rd and 4th semester, but because of some basic fundamental knowledge you require for these subjects, fluid mechanics background and fundamentals, that it has been shifted from 3rd semester to 4th semester. From this semester onwards, this is on 4th semester. Environmental Engineering 1, and 5th semester you have Environmental Engineering 2. Okay, yeah, CEPC 17 Environmental Engineering 1. It's a core course that we call it as is program core. And the prerequisite, you need some basic knowledge in water and its treatment. So whatever you had in the school level or whatever you studied in the first year chemistry, at least you just have some background knowledge about the water and also its treatment. And because it is his 3 credit course, it is also being given importance to go for 45. So if you go for a 4 months, then you make it comfortably with the 40, but we may complete with 40 hours. Let me try to finish it off in 40 hours. And assessment pattern is continuous assessment and also end assessment. Continuous, what I meant for, apart from end assessment, before the closure of the class schedule, and we'll also finish it off all CAs, continuous assessment, which includes either quiz or MCQs or assignments or activity, or say example teamwork, or maybe say example group project, and solution of complex problems, something that we'll discuss later based on your involvement. Okay, and each and every class may have a learning objectives, and this is one learning objective. And one is about at least you should be familiar with the source of water and also its demand. That's number one. So you should be familiar with the source of water and also its demand. The second important learning objective is to study or to understand the basic characteristics of water and also its determination. That's something that is important. And the sources you would have come across in water systems, you have only surface water sources and also groundwater sources. And the quality, if you see groundwater quality, it is not similar with surface water quality characteristics. That is something this is unique. And the surface water characteristics, maybe surface water may be rich in solids, maybe either in a suspended form or colloidal form or in a floating materials or floating matter or what. Because the source of water for the surface sources mainly because of surface runoff. So it will carry large amount of sediments to the nearby water courses. So what I mean to say is surface water, which includes either maybe the reservoir or from a lake or from a river system or from a pond or what. Okay, and if you happen to see or happen to use groundwater quality characteristics are entirely different, because then you have to be much cautious with dissolved organic and dissolved inorganic matters. Those who are familiar near to the seashore probably would have come across problem or difficulties with salts, sodium salts, sodium chloride and other related. Those who are familiar in say example West Bengal, other related regions, then you have to be cautious with on arsenic. Those who are familiar in Tamil Nadu, some parts of either Tirupur or say example the Krishnagiri and Dharmapuri areas, or you may be familiar, or you maybe have a problem with a lot of fluoride content, and so many. So characteristics are not uniform. Surface water characteristics and groundwater characteristics are not uniform. So we'll be studying in detail with the characteristics and how to determine these quality parameters. Okay, and then to study or to expose the students to understand the components of water supply lines. Okay, water will be stored somewhere else in the reservoir or a lake. Then you have to tap the water and you have to bring down to a say example nearest city or nearest to your point of use, where you have to have a treatment plant, treat the water and store it, and from the storage well, and you have to distribute to the consumers. So that you have to understand logically with the components of water supply system. Okay, and again, the important fourth objective is you have to be familiar on water treatment process and also its design. That's what now people have given a lot of importance on water. Water industry has given a lot of good importance right now. Probably would have come across Government of India initiatives by Prime Minister. Okay, and at least 2021, 2022, and his mission was to give a potable water to the doorsteps that you would have come across. Okay, so at least you should have a familiarization with water treatment process and also its design features. And last one is about how to design a distribution network for a city and for a water supply buildings. At least for your construction or for your house, you should also be familiar with what type of water you are using and what is the characteristics, and whether you have a system, whether it is good or bad, whether you have taken up right decisions to procure, say example, treatment systems for a household level, and what is the real, say example, water supply networks or water supply fittings what you are using in the industry, say example building or a household. So that these are the learning objectives. Okay, so it is being explained in the course content. So we won't follow anything on subject like unit wise or content wise or paragraph or something. So it is something like a course content. So faculty has a liberty to elaborate the course content. Okay, yeah. So the first lecture we'll be discussing in physical, chemical and biological characteristics of water. Okay, that the important part. Physical, chemical, and biological. So physical, by seeing or by touching or by smell or by tasting, you could able to see the quality of water. Okay, that is about physical sense. And chemical, and probably you take it to the laboratory and do some sort of targeted contaminant analysis. You can just estimate calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, carbonates, bicarbonates. You can able to find out the chemical characteristics of water. And biological characteristics, if it is anything on the contamination with bacteria, protozoa, virus, probably you could able to say the water is completely, say example, not potable or it's not used for domestic purpose or something. So we'll be discussing in detail physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of water. And water analysis, theory part we'll discuss, and probably you'll also continue in the laboratory how to test, say example, pH of the water, TDS of the water, solids in the water, chlorides, and essential quality parameters that will explain the basic fundamental concepts. If it is high or low, and what is the real importance or problems that we'll discuss. And in India, we'll follow standards. Okay, each and every quality, each and every parameters, water quality parameters may have a standard. If it is anything on beyond that level, either you have to treat and use, otherwise you could not able to use it for any purposes. So we follow Indian standard IS 10500, and I am not discussing right now here, but you just note down that IS 10500. It may also clearly says the water quality requirements for a domestic purpose. Okay, IS 10500. I guess the revision it was in 2012. IS 10500 2012. And to compare the Indian standards and also WHO standards, I could also have a feel like what could be the difference. Okay, what's the difference between WHO says and Indian standard says? At least to have a comparison. For that, they are given IS and WHO standards. And the requirements of water supply also we'll discuss. Okay, requirements for domestic, requirements for construction, requirements for, say example, recreational. So they have some certain quality parameters that we'll discuss in detail. And the types of demand. So that also we'll discuss the types of demand. It's not only for the domestic consumption, and you could also have some demand for industry and some demand for fire as well. Okay, probably you would have seen in the class 1 or say example metro cities. So along with the regular water supply pipelines, you would also seen fire hydrants. If it is anything on the fire, say example accidents, they could be able to tap the water from the regular water supply networks. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail types of demand and how to calculate the types of demands as well. Okay, and the rate of consumption that probably in Indian standards it is also been mentioned. Per capita demand, that's what we discuss. Okay, so how much is the water to be supplied for individual head, that we call it as per capita demand, rate of consumption. As per Indian standards, we have to supply 135 liters per capita per day or 135 liters per person per day. Okay, so no urban local bodies or typical corporations could be able to supply this amount of water, 135 liters per day. If it is 5, they should supply with only 5 into 135, just remember, but you also check in your house. It is not at all possible to supply 135 per person per day. So we'll also see like the rate of consumption as well. Okay, any like the water supply network design is based on population growth. That's something is important, population growth. Okay, so for any environmental engineering projects, you should also plan for at least 25 to 30 years. And without population data, we cannot. So for that, we'll also see some details on how to forecast the population. Okay, I don't know how many of you are familiar. And the population, whatever the data we have, it is only 2011 we have data, because once in 10 years or decades only they'll project maybe population data. 2011 we had a data, and 2021 the process already been initiated. That's so many news clippings also would have seen, based on community, based on say example persons, based on the so many population tracking data plans also is being announced by the government. Okay, so 2021 you may get the data maybe for population right now. Okay, yes, so forecasting the population is important. We'll discuss 4 or 5 different methods. Okay, and variations in the demand pattern, that's what another important fact. whatever you supply to the consumers, the demand patterns may not be uniform. For example, you consume water maybe predominantly higher in quantity in the morning hours, and you have a lean flow in the evening, and again demand also will pick up or boost up in the evenings. So we'll also discuss what are the different factors which influence the variation in demand patterns as well. Okay, so being familiar with these introduction, we'll also discuss slightly in turn with the sources of water. Sources of water, that's already I will mention to you. Sources normally surface water sources and groundwater sources. Surface water is predominantly water is being stored in an elevated reservoir source, or from a lake, or from a pond, or from a river, other sources. Okay, surface water sources, and you may have groundwater sources as well. Some places like they may depend on predominantly like groundwater sources. Some parts of India, they predominantly follow groundwater sources. Okay, and the quality I've already mentioned to you, the quantity estimation and quality. This is not uniform across surface water sources and groundwater sources. We'll be discussing in detail qualitative and quantitative studies. Okay, and we'll also discuss in detail with the intakes. Okay, anyway, from the sources you have to tap the water. Okay, how to tap the water from a river. Okay, those are intake wells. Those who are familiar in, say example, Trichy, you would have seen so many intake wells inside the river Kaveri. So you tap the water for consumption. So intake wells. Those who are familiar, say example, near river Ganga, you cannot have your intake structures inside the river because water flow is very, very heavy. So what they do, they have a intake structures on the bunds or away from the river. So that they may call it as either intake wells or they may call it as infiltration galleries as well. Okay, so river Ganga you would have seen or you would have noticed in this thing. Okay, yeah. So now for fetching of water, then you need some intake structures or intake towers. Okay, so from the intakes you could also carry the water to the point of use or to the treatment plant. That cannot be done in a simple way. So that we'll be discussing in detail with different types of channels and pipes for carrying water. Okay, channels and pipes for carrying water. Please understand very clearly now. We are now discussing from an intake point to a point of use or intake point to a treatment plant. So you would have seen big, say example, big conduits from a reservoir to a, say example, treatment plant or to a city. Okay, so we'll be discussing in detail channels and pipes for conveying water, and pipe material, that is something is important, and how to design a pipe, hydraulic design of pipe, that we call it as is a pressure pipe. Okay, so why it has been mentioned pressure pipe, let me also make a clarity, because normally in a normal engineering field we may use for water supply and also wastewater, and probably the main difference between the water supply system and wastewater collection systems are only like water supply systems are always with pressure. You would have seen in your household taps also, always with pressure. But in the case of wastewater collection, it is not all the time is full, it's partially full. Okay, it is not a pressure flow. That's what is being mentioned, pressure flow conditions. And what type of different materials is used for, and how to lay the pipes, and how to join the pipes, and how to test after laying the pipes, and what are the different pipe joints. Pipe appurtenances is used in the connection, that also we'll discuss. Okay, and this is not only the collection, that means is taking out from an intake structure to a treatment plant or to a point of use, and sometimes maybe probably your levels, natural ground level may not permit to transport the water by gravity. So sometimes you may need pumps and pumping stations. You would have seen very big pumping stations in your urban local body or municipalities as well. Okay, what are the different types of pumps and pumping stations used for water supply systems, that also we'll discuss. Okay, and being familiar with the third segment, sources, we are already familiar, and how to take out or bring the water from intake structures to your treatment plant, that also will be familiar with. And that's what I told you. Now water quality may not be that much good, or that may be like suitable for your potable purposes because of man-made activities and say example natural activities. This water is already being contaminated, then contaminated water you cannot supply to the consumers, you have to plan for some treatment system. That's something is important. Okay, so that's the last option, and this we'll discuss in detail as a UG level. And what are the process fundamentals? That's something is important. Okay, each and every process may have, say example, some process fundamentals. Okay, yes, that's what I told you. Surface water may have large amount of solids. Okay, maybe sediments. How to remove the sediments from water? That is very easy. Okay, so just take out the water. Imagine now you have a situation, you fetch the water from a pond. Okay, already a turbid water. What people normally used to do is take a water, and ideally they'll keep it for a long period of time. The solids, which is more than the specific gravity than that of water, automatically settle down with the bottom. That we call it a simple process called sedimentation. Allow the particle to settle by simple action of gravity. That is sedimentation. Micro sediments or colloids may not be able to settle very faster. What they do, they may add coagulants. That also would have seen. You add aluminium sulfate. If you add aluminium sulfate into the water, alum maybe if you add to the water, it may be split into aluminium 3+ and other ions. So Al3+ may have a lot of positive charges, and the colloidal solids in the water may be negatively charged. So thereby charge neutralization may happen, and thereby all your colloidal materials may be completely destabilized. Thereby I could be able to manage in the sedimentation basin or sedimentation tank. Okay, and filtration you have seen. Okay, in the household level, if you want to remove the solids, what they do, they'll take a normal fabric or a cloth, cotton cloth, and they'll filter. Very simple concept is, if you want to say example, remove the tea particles which is already there in a milk. If you say example, if you go for a tea with tea powder, sorry, milk with tea powder, if you want to separate, they may use say example micro strains, or they may use fabrics, something similar. Okay, you can have a filter system, but here they may use different layers of sand, and these sands will act as a filter which will not allow the solids to penetrate further, and solid retention may take place. Filtration and disinfection is anyway the already contaminated water, and these sedimentation, coagulation and filtration may not be able to remove the microbial contaminants. You have to disinfect it. You have to kill or you have to eradicate the microorganisms. That you just plan for disinfection process. Okay. Softening is meant for groundwater. Say example, rich in hardness. Remove the hardness from the water, then you can call it as simply softening. Softening would have experienced in the UG level. You just add either lime soda, or you can go for some other treatment, demineralization technologies, where you can remove the salts from the water. Okay, yeah. But nowadays, this very recent concept is about advanced water treatment. You would have seen filtration systems. You would have seen ultra filtration systems. You would have seen nano filtration systems, or you would have seen reverse osmosis, or you would have seen dialysis, or you would have seen like electrodialysis. These are advanced water treatment systems. Okay, so these are very good for point of use technologies, and you need not depend on traditional water treatment techniques. You can directly go for advanced water treatment systems, remove and use it directly. So we'll be discussing in detail advanced water treatment as well. Okay, so after treatment, the water will be stored in a storage well, and from there you have to distribute to the consumers. So that will plan some sort of distribution networks. Okay, how to distribute the water without any difficulty to the consumers, distribution system. And challenge, very big challenges is how to analyze, because this at end of the day, every consumer could able to get the water with the required quantity as well as required pressure. So for that you have to plan for distribution network analysis. Okay, so how to optimize the diameter, how to optimize the pressure distribution in the pipelines. Yeah. So that we'll be discussing in detail with distribution networks. And last part is about once it is supplied to the, say example, building level, and how to maintain the water supply systems in the buildings. Okay, probably you may get your water from a corporation or other local body. You may store it in a boundary, and from there, from your underground tanks, you may also pump it to the elevated tanks where you can have a distribution. That also we will discuss in detail with operation and maintenance of water supply to buildings. Okay, yes. The last one is about rural water supply system. Okay, so whatever we discussed so far, it is good for urban bodies, say urban system, where you have a treatment system, where you can plant treatment plant and treat this water with the required quality. Then you can, say example, supply to the consumers. But it may not be possible in the rural water supply systems. Rural, normally they may follow only well. Okay, say example, they may either use bore wells or they may use open wells. Okay, is there any technologies to treat the water by themselves? That we'll discuss in detail with the rural water supply system and how to supply protected water supply to the consumers. Okay, in the rural cases, that also we'll discuss. And last part is this, because of the consumption of water, and those who are familiar in these issue areas would have also experienced saline water intrusion. Okay, and we'll discuss in detail with what is the saline water intrusion, what are the different causes, and how to remove the salt water, or how to push the salt water to the again back to towards sea. So that some details we'll discuss in detail with saline water intrusion. Okay, so this covers the entire subject. It's very interesting, and you can also create some sort of interest by yourself, learn fundamental concepts. That is very good for your, at least your higher studies point of view or career point of view. Okay, yeah, and these two books are very good. Okay, one is Pavey and Rowe. This book is very nice, something like very fundamental concepts we'll read out. And the second book is also Davis, that Davis and Cornell. That is also Introduction to Environmental Engineering. This also is very nice book. So most of the contents or basic fundamentals, you can take it from these two books. Probably these two books also I'll drop it in the Dropbox. You can download and have a copy and look into. Okay, and these two are very standard books. But if you have some difficulty in learning reading books, you can also refer these two books. These are Indian books. Probably concepts may be same, but very elementary level of understanding and also thinking. And if you have anything on related to this, you can also refer these two books. These are Indian editions, either in a soft copy or you just buy a book and have a copy with you. Okay, so I prefer these two books. Anyway, I'll drop it in the Dropbox. And the Indian system will follow the manuals. Okay, CPHEO meant for Central Public Health Environmental Engineering Organization. Okay, please make a note on this. CPHEO, Central Public Health Environmental Engineering Organization. You visit the site CPHEO, just type it in Google and it will go directly to the CPHEO site, Government of India site, where you could able to download manual on water supply and also treatment. Let me also have a look if it is any recent editions, or let me follow up with my friends. I'll get a copy and I'll also post it in the Dropbox. Okay, so this is not for your examination point of view. At least have a look what is being recommended or mentioned in the manual. That also have a look. Okay, so these three books are important that you need not worry about. Let me drop it in the Dropbox. Have a look. Okay, and after the end of your courses, for example, after completion of one semester, and at least you could able to take up some outcomes. Okay, you are in a position to analyze various water quality parameters. You are in a position to forecast the population and estimate the water demand. And you are in a position to differentiate different intake structures, and you are in a position to select a material for water conveyance, and you should have a confidence to design for different water treatment systems, as well as you are in a position to solve very simple distribution networks. Okay, these are the course outcomes. Yeah, so this is what we are going to cover for the entire semester. I hope I have given some input. And I'll also take up one more. Thereby, you can also understand how the process of my class. That also you can understand. And thereby, if it is any difficulty, you can post it in advance. Thereby, we'll also mutually understand together, and we'll go for a smooth walk in the entire semester. Is it okay? Is it fine? Yeah, Divya and Rashwant, you can interact with me. Yeah, is it fine? Or others also, but I'm not familiar with the names. Let me see, based on my interaction, let me also call other persons as well. Is it okay, Divya? Okay, so I prefer at least loose papers or say example a note where you can highlight the important points. If I say something is important, you just have a concern. Okay. Anyway, that class notes will be uploaded, that you need not worry about. Either you can read it in a soft form or you can take a printout and make a highlighter, highlight the important points and start learning or reading. In whatever way it is fine, but be systematic in the class and be systematic for your learning capabilities. These two I'll expect from your side. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. I am now downloading the attendance. Okay, so Divya, Rashwant, just kindly note down day-wise the absentee's roll number, and immediately after the class, you just text me last 2 digits of the roll number. Thereby, I'll also mark it. I'll also cross-verify. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take care. Bye. Anything to be discussed? Others, those who are really interested, you can interact with me also. Yeah. So what about the situations? I guess people are in different states, right? Yeah, if you want to interact with me, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Rashwant, I'll share username and password to you, that Dropbox, in the evening.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and inform them they should use wisely. Okay, so don't share it as a whole to any of his friends or other people. Okay, if they are really interested, they can share the lecture, but not as a whole with username and password. Is it okay? Yeah, I'm ready to share my materials, no problem, but it should not be in a bulk. You may not take it very serious, but others, they'll take it as serious and they'll download all the materials from my Dropbox. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rashwant. Yeah, thank you so much. Good luck to you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, shall I leave?